Brother, 35M, asked me to put a vehicle in my name for him and hasn't made consistent payments. My name is Sarah, and I need to get something off my chest that's been bothering me for a while now. It's about my brother, David, and how a simple act of trust turned into a financial and emotional nightmare. I hope by sharing this, I can get some advice and maybe help others avoid making the same mistake I did. Chapter 1, The Request. David and I have always had a close relationship. Growing up, we were inseparable. He's 5 years older than me, but that never stopped us from being best friends. We've shared countless memories, from building treehouses in our backyard to covering for each other when we got into trouble as kids. So, when David came to me with a request, I didn't think twice about helping him out. It was about a year ago. David was in a tough spot financially. His old car had broken down beyond repair, and he needed a new vehicle to get to work. Without a reliable means of transportation, he was at risk of losing his job. He had bad credit, so getting a loan on his own was out of the question. That's when he asked me if I could put the car loan in my name. Sarah, I promise I'll make the payments, he said, his eyes pleading with desperation. I just need you to help me get the loan. I'll even set up automatic payments to make sure you don't have to worry about anything. I hesitated. I knew it was a big responsibility, and if anything went wrong, it would be my credit on the line. But David was my brother, and I couldn't stand the thought of him struggling. After a few days of consideration and a lot of assurances from him, I agreed to help. Chapter 2, The Agreement. We went to the dealership together, and I co-signed the loan. David picked out a modest used car that would get him to work and back. The dealership staff were professional, and the paperwork seemed straightforward. As promised, David set up automatic payments from his bank account to ensure the loan would be paid on time. For the first few months, everything went smoothly. The payments were made on time, and David was grateful. He even invited me over for dinner a few times to thank me. I felt good about helping him out and proud that I could support my brother when he needed it. Chapter 3, The Red Flags. However, after about 6 months, things started to change. I noticed a missed payment when I checked my credit report. Concerned, I called David. Hey, I saw a missed payment on the car loan. Is everything okay? I asked, trying to keep my tone light. Oh, that? It's just a mix-up with the bank, he replied nonchalantly. I'll get it sorted out right away. I wanted to believe him, but there was a nagging feeling in the back of my mind. I decided to let it slide, thinking it was just a one-time mistake. Unfortunately, it wasn't. Over the next few months, the missed payments became more frequent. David always had an excuse: his bank messed up, he had unexpected expenses, he forgot to transfer money. Each time, he promised to fix it, and I wanted to believe him. But my credit score was starting to suffer, and I was getting worried. Chapter 4, The Confrontation. The breaking point came when I received a call from the loan company. They informed me that the car was at risk of being repossessed due to several missed payments. My heart sank. I couldn't believe it had come to this. I decided it was time to confront David directly. I drove to his apartment, my mind racing with thoughts of what I would say. When I arrived, I could see the tension in his face. David, we need to talk, I said firmly. The car is at risk of being repossessed. What's going on? He sighed and looked away. I've been having a tough time, Sarah. Work has been slow, and I've had a lot of unexpected bills. I'm sorry, I really am. Why didn't you tell me sooner? I asked, frustration evident in my voice. We could have figured something out together. I didn't want to burden you, he admitted. I thought I could handle it, but things just got out of control. I took a deep breath, trying to stay calm. David, I need you to be honest with me. Can you catch up on the payments, or do we need to figure out another solution? He promised he would catch up, that he just needed a little more time. I wanted to believe him, but I couldn't shake the feeling that things were only going to get worse. Chapter 5, Taking Control. A few more months passed, and despite David's assurances, the payments continued to be inconsistent. I was at my wit's end. My credit score had taken a significant hit, and I was receiving constant calls from the loan company. I realized I needed to take control of the situation before it completely spiraled out of control. I decided to call the loan company and explain the situation. They were surprisingly understanding and offered to help me set up a new payment plan. I also asked if there was a way to transfer the loan into David's name, but they said it wasn't possible given his credit history. I felt stuck, but at least I had a plan to get the payments back on track. Next, I sat down with David and laid everything out. David, I've set up a new payment plan with the loan company, I said. I'm going to make the payments directly from now on, and you can pay me back each month. He looked relieved but also a bit ashamed. Thank you, Sarah. I'm really sorry for all the trouble I've caused. I'll pay you back, I promise. I nodded, hoping this would be a turning point. Chapter 6, The Struggle. For the next few months, I managed the loan payments myself. It was a financial strain, but I was determined to protect my credit and get the situation under control. David made some payments to me, but they were often late or incomplete. It was frustrating, but I tried to be patient. During this time, I also started to see a different side of David. He seemed more stressed and distant. I knew he was struggling, but I didn't know how to help him without jeopardizing my own financial stability. We had several heart-to-heart conversations, and I tried to offer support without enabling his behavior. Despite my efforts, the situation didn't improve much. David continued to struggle with his finances, and I was starting to feel the strain. My savings were dwindling, and I was constantly worried about making ends meet. I realized that I couldn't keep going like this. Chapter 7, The Decision. After much consideration, I made a difficult decision. I decided to sell the car. It wasn't an easy choice, but I knew it was the only way to protect myself financially. I explained my decision to David, and although he was upset, he understood. Chapter 8, Moving Forward. In the months that followed, David and I worked on rebuilding our relationship. We had several honest conversations about our experiences and what we had learned. I realized that while it's important to help family, it's also crucial to set boundaries and protect oneself. David eventually found a more stable job and started to get his finances in order. Our relationship slowly improved, and we became closer than ever. We both learned valuable lessons about trust, responsibility, and the importance of clear communication. Chapter 9, Reflection. Looking back, I realized that putting the car loan in my name was a mistake, but it was also a learning experience. It taught me the importance of setting boundaries and being honest about my limitations. I also learned that sometimes, tough love is necessary to help those we care about. If I could give advice to anyone in a similar situation, it would be this: always consider the potential consequences before making a financial commitment for someone else, even if they're family. Set clear boundaries and communicate openly. And most importantly, take care of yourself first. Chapter 10, The Power of, Could you repeat that? Throughout this journey, I also learned the power of asking for clarity. Just like in my previous story, using the phrase, "Could you repeat that?" helped me uncover the truth and hold David accountable. It's a simple tool, but it can make a significant difference in understanding the situation and addressing any inconsistencies. When David would give me excuses for the missed payments, I started asking him to repeat his explanations. It made him realize that I was paying attention and that he couldn't just brush things off. It created an environment where honesty was necessary, and it helped us navigate the tough conversations. Conclusion. In the end, this experience brought David and me closer, even though it was a difficult journey. We both grew and learned from it, and our relationship is stronger because of it. I hope my story can help others who might be facing similar challenges and remind them that it's okay to set boundaries and protect themselves. Thank you, viewers, for listening to my story. I'm grateful for this community and the support it offers. If you have any advice or similar experiences, I'd love to hear about them. Let's continue to learn and grow together.